So I don't know how many episodes ago I made this board here with the list of farms I should be adding to this area. I just came over and was looking at it, and we've got a long way to go to have all these farms in the area actually operational, seeing as how we only have the 4 crop farms, these 3 farms over here, and then this shroom farm, another crimson fungus. Yeah, we've got some building to do. I think I want to start just from the top. The general mob farm. Now, what type of mob farm should we put in the base area? Ah, this looks good. What do you think, Pig? Ah, sounds like a yes to me. Let's turn the gamma on. Yeah, it's currently off. I think something like this could work in the base area. It's got an on and off switch, which is nice. It's fast enough, I think, for my needs, which I don't need a mob farm anyway, but it's going over there just because I think it'll look cool and it'll be a nice addition to the area. And I think we can fit the whole farm inside of Tetrahedron ship. Alright, the second Tetrahedron in this area is finally built. I know that I said that there'd probably be more, and there will be, but this is the second one. I didn't want to build it the same size as that one. Obviously, that one's the main one. It'll be much bigger, and also would take a lot more time to build. And there are some inconsistencies in this one, so just don't look closely and you won't see them. But I think it's a cool little addition. We've got the mob farm inside here. There we go. It's all built up. Now we need a way to kill them. And I'm actually curious because I think I forgot to check. But we can check right now. The despawn sphere, because I know that the farm is built to where... Oh, was it already on? Let's see. I know the farm is built within the vicinity of the player where I AFK at for all the rest of the farms. The spawning pads at least. But how about if I drop them to their death? Should be at the very bottom down here. Oh, they're in. Nice. I can actually just drop them to their death and get the drops from there, pack them into boxes, send them up to the main base. And got to figure out where I want to bring up the on and off switch. I think it's going to have to go from like all the way up there to back here and then straight up, something like this. I'll have to go over, be able to turn it on and off that way. And I know it won't be as efficient because these blocks are above it and it's not as low to the ground as you should make one of these to have increased spawn rates, especially seeing as how Y level is being decreased by 64 again in 1.18. It'll be less efficient, but like I said, not doing it for efficiency's sake and the drops. I'm doing it because this is like you know, the pet project, the base area. As many automated farms we can turn on and off in one area while standing in AFK in one spot. So this is another addition to general mob farm. Now we just got to get up the spot to kill them, collect the drops, send them up to the storage, and then add an on and off switch. So I popped over in the creative world of Voluminum just to see how the collection was over here. And I forgot totally what I even did. It seems I went with Wither Roses and hoppers underneath, so anything that didn't die, like armored skeletons or zombies, they would die from the Wither Roses. Hoppers collect the items, then they go over filters, and anything gets put out in the lava, like all the junk that we aren't filtering out. But I don't think this is the right way to go, mainly because it relies on hopper speed, and this at times can be really slow and clog up in the item stream here, and just tons of items just be sitting in these hoppers. So I want to find a more efficient way to do this. I'm thinking something with landing the drops in water, then them going around over the filters until they despawn, and then filtering out actually the items that we don't want as well, so they aren't floating around until they despawn, because that's also a lot of lag. So I think I need to hop over to Test World to see what we want to do. Everything definitely does die 29 blocks on this little platform here. So now we have to figure out what we want to do with these items, how efficiently to put them over filters and not have hoppers just eating all the items forever and them floating around. Now I'm wondering if I can use the same technique they use in some flower farms, to where you just push the blocks back and forth. I'm thinking if I replace all of these with blocks that items can actually fall through, not full blocks, this might work. Okay, I know this looks kind of ridiculous because they could probably fall just right in between it, but I want to see if it works anyway. Okay, they're spawning in. Now they're dropping. See what happens. Okay, some definitely made it through. Okay, so let's add a redstone, a little bit of redstone here to push these pistons back and forth. Okay, I just threw this little hopper clock thing up, and it doesn't look promising so far. We've got this rotten flesh pretending to fall through. Oh, no, it just despawned. Nice. Okay, let's actually do a test. Yeah, I just kept the same blocks as before. Oh, nice. I gotta... Okay. Forgot to let it up. So the ones that do land on here... How many drops do we have just staying on these fences? I don't see any. All the drops came down here? Looks like it. Let's watch the second batch fall through. Definitely getting a lot of mobs falling through, which is not good. Pretty much any spider dies, seems like. Spiders aren't making it through there, but some creepers and skeletons do. Okay, so we do have some items hanging out here. It's like they're falling through, but not really. Okay, so what other blocks can we use that will allow the mobs not to fall all the way through there? I think chains are a good idea for the drops, but the mobs also fall through there really easily. Okay, walls connect. Way too much. That's a no-go. What about mob heads? I think mob heads might be sufficient here. I want to try it. Let's turn this on. Oh. What? That doesn't really work, does it? So now that I'm thinking about it, I think the play is actually to have staggered blocks pushing all the items to the middle. And that way, if they drop, they should die always until they get to the middle. And then everything just gets pushed to the middle and then falls down into a water stream. I'm going to try this. Let's see what this does. See, if they land on the side there, they should be pushed to the middle, all the drops anyway, and they should fall in between this fence gate. Keyword should. Okay, all the mobs are dying, none are making it through. And all the items fell through. Except the string right here. How did that... I wonder... I think this might just have some loss, unfortunately. Not much though. Just about everything seems like it's coming through. Yeah, I mean, this is tons of stuff in here. Well, I'm going to play with this for a bit more, but I think this is basically what we're going to get for item collection. And they fall down into the water stream, go over item filters, and get put in the boxes. Okay, I just tick warped this for about 10 minutes, and I was actually worried about mobs hanging out here like they were with armor on And maybe that will be more of a problem in my world since this is a test world, even though it's on hard. This area like increases with difficulty the more you play it, and I haven't obviously been here that long. So I don't actually know how much of a nuisance the armored mobs are going to be, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. And these drops on the outside here also I don't think will be that big of a deal, although I could just increase this whole platform a little bit wider. That way anything that gets on these sides out here will be pushed in as well. I think I'll do that. Okay, all I did was increase the width by 1 block, put a full block on the end in front of this grass path, and that should get all the drops. So I'm just going to tick warp for a little bit. We'll come back and see the result. Okay, I already see a few issues that popped up. One was items like that, like falling on the side right along like here. Maybe a little bit further, but in between this piston and that full block, because they don't get pushed inwards at all since the piston and the full block are the same size. And also some drops just kind of fly all over the place. Like this one just landed over here somehow. So I think it's just going to have some loss with it, unfortunately, but not too much. Like I said, I only saw one item over here and that bone over there. Everything else has made it through though. So I think we're looking good on item collection. I've started to clear out this little bottom section down here for the drop. And this blasted water. This is the most annoying part of this by far. Having to make space for these little piston pushers. I got the little schematic here, loaded up, just to make it easier on myself. And yeah, it's going to be kind of annoying to have to clear out this water, make it dry enough to get this redstone. Obviously, you can't place redstone in water. I could use observers, I think, actually. But I don't think it'll be that big of a deal to just clear this area out, at least make a little box down here. And then once we go low enough, though, we won't have to deal with the water. So once they die, the drops will just go down into a little space down here to be sorted. Do you know how fast this farm is? If you do, please tell me. Because I cannot remember the commands I used to use for the carpet, the wool counter, and I'm just entirely too lazy to figure it out. I'll leave the world download that gnembon included in the Google download of this farm. I think he's got the rates in there. I want to say around 18,000, 17,000, something like that, but I don't know how much per item comes down here. And I'm only sorting the bones, arrows, which I don't even need to save the arrows, gunpowder, and string. But we've got it installed here. It's on, obviously. Was an absolute pain to get this in here without it flooding. I had to quickly place each block so the water didn't pour in, especially this redstone here. But both sides are in. I've left this fence gate open just so I can hop down. So the items will drop, come down into here. This bat will escort them across the hoppers, and all the filters are also in. I've just got 2 per. That should be plenty. I don't think it's that fast. I need to probably add fire or some lava down at the end here for anything that doesn't get picked up, like rotten flesh and different armor, stuff that zombies might spawn in their hand with. So I just used the same sorter and box loader that I used over in the starting area. It'll work the same. I just added 2 filters per item now, and it's over water streams instead of all hoppers. So this will load the boxes, send them. I filled these up with a stack of shulker boxes in each filter. And once they come down, they go all the way into this dropper. And then this takes a trip all the way across into the item stream that goes up to the storage. So the item filters and storage for this farm are done. Now I just have to hook up the on and off switch. Get me out of here, please. Oh, don't die. I don't know if I mentioned either that everything in here is spawn proof. I slabbed everything in here. That's part of the on and off switch. So this is actually the observer. I'm gonna have to connect something to here. So let's turn that off. When the farm is on, this is on, and when the farm is off, this is off as well. So this is just a little mechanism to do that. Maybe a little bit excessive, but it works. So that's all we've got to do now is connect the on and off switch. Gonna have to come up like way back here, over, and then have some kind of observer piston redstone thing so we can do it all from the base. Collect all the items, turn it on and off. We'll be good to go. Mob farm. And there it is. The on and off switch is installed. We were sending a signal downwards with these sandstone walls, and I had a little bit of trouble connecting these because I needed it to connect a little bit further up here instead of all the way down there, not mess with these other two that are already. And I was turning on the cobblestone farm constantly, so I had to just take the observers off, get the walls right, and now it's good to go. So I'll just stand in front of this, go down here, and we can watch the magic work. Hit the switch, and the signal is sent all the way down here. I used sticky pistons just to send the signal upwards. I was going to use a bubble column, but then I'll have to block off the water here, and I just wanted to just get it going. As well as observers and doors like I did before. I was going to use those, but I'll just go with this for now. So it sends the signal all the way to here. It turns this farm on and off. Right now it is on. So the only thing I have left to do is connect the shifting floor. And see, I put these slabs up here to keep this spawn proof too. So I want this whole inside area. There we go. Gamma red. Yeah, I can't see anything in here because this is also just for getting in and out. I got to block this off still. But yeah, so this is all dark in here. We don't have to ever come back in here once I make sure everything's connected up right. So I'm going to take a signal, I think, from this and just send it over to push this redstone block against that piston to turn the shifting floor on and off as well. Instead of using this observer, which was in here, I think that'll work out a little bit easier instead of having to route another one up into here. But yeah, we can now turn it off, go check it out. Everything retracted, and now the farm should be off. Once this redstone goes around the clock again. Okay, it's actually on right now. So I need to, I think, hit this twice really fast to make sure the water is actually on first. So we just double click it. So that actually turns the clock on. So the farm is on. I might need to change the buckets out. Yeah, because the farm's actually off, but the clock is on. So I need to, I think, just remove the buckets and put them back in, because the buckets obviously need to be out. Like the water needs to be spread out while the farm's off to keep everything from spawning. So let me turn that back on so it stops the water from going, stops the clock. See if I can't fly in here. Oh, I did. MLG. Actually, I think it's much easier than having to take the buckets in and out. I think I just need to break and replace this repeater really fast. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. Not the repeater, the dropper. Whoops. Okay, so we'll take the repeater off, and then all I have to do is break and replace this drop really fast. Now what is the signal? Should be on right now. Aha! I did it. Took me a couple more tries. I had to place it and break it and place it much faster than I did that time. But now it's actually good. So farm is off. Let's just double check the switch. Yes. And we turn it on again just to double check. There we go. Now it's actually on. Of course, nothing's spawning because the mob switch is on. Okay, cool. Let's turn it off for now. And I'll hook up the shifting floor as well. Okay, let's see if this works. So I'm going to turn it on. Observer sends a signal, pulls this redstone block back, and lets this go. And the farm should also be on now. Yes. Okay, I'll turn it back off. Should retract. Farm should be off, and this should also stop. Yes, perfect. Observers are the best. My OCD is going to bug me. Now I've got to, oh, my inventory is completely full. Give me this. Mob farm. There we go. Now it matches the rest. Let's fall down here. Dump everything into a shulker box so I don't have to go back to my base. Just dump all this junk. All of it's not going to fit. That's okay. This is my shortcut way of not having to go back to the base. Dump in this dropper and it'll go be sorted out in the main storage. But if you probably noticed that when I hit tab, I had a couple bots up. Those bots spawn in when I start the world to stand next to the overworld and nether mob switches just to keep that chunk loaded. And then I can delete them shortly after the world's generated, you know, once I start the game. And the switches will actually be loaded, because sometimes single player games aren't like servers. You have to actually go turn the switch on and off. Or else, if you just quit out of the game while the mob switch is on, sometimes it doesn't register that that chunk was loaded. So you have to actually go generate the mob switch again, and then it'll say, okay, there's a chunk loader there. It'll keep going. That's why I have those bots in, but I turned them off. Now I need to go actually turn the overworld mob switch off, and we can test this out. Right over here. Alright, let's lock this, and it'll turn this farm off. It'll stop the drops from going back and forth. Alright, now the mob switch is on, but overworld mob switch should be turned off now. Alright, we're back at the base. So there are mobs spawning in because I'm way down here, but once I get to the top in my little AFK spot, I shouldn't have any mobs spawning unless there's a spot or two that I missed while I was building that whole thing. So if I stand here, nothing should be spawning, right? So let's turn the mob farm on. Stand back here again. Try and stand in the middle of the chest. We see the mob cap going up. Let's go check it out. I think game override's still on, so I can see. Yes. Mobs are spawning. Alright. Let's watch them fall. Ooh. Need to fix that. Need to go put those blocks back, because there are some... Now there's got to be some light coming in here. Alright, everything's dropping. Oh, that observer. Yeah, I need to get rid of that. Alright. Like we found out when we were getting this shifting floor thing going, there are going to be some losses here. Just make sure all the drops are coming in like they're supposed to. Hitting the sea pickle. Getting sorted. It looks like it. All the rotten flesh is going to be destroyed by the cactus. Any extra garbage. And everything else should be filtered into boxes. And then once a box fills up, it should be kicked out and take its journey all the way to this water stream, up and into the storage. So I'm going to turn this back off. I'm going to go fix that hole in the side there, and then also place the warp planks back here where these observers go. I do see a problem now. When I turn the mob farm off, there'll be some drops sitting up here because the shifting floor also turns off, but like I said, I'm not going to stress a whole lot about some drops that I'll miss. Oh, that's a problem. Might need to put a light up here just to keep things from spawning. I thought bottom slabs would do it, but I forgot spiders are one high, so I need to go in place just like a sea lantern or something. Alright, so I fixed the observer down there. That's good now. I'm up here trying to light up the top where spiders won't be spawning up here. And a little bit of an issue now. So if I turn game override off, you can see that sea lantern and that sea lantern are out far enough that a bunch of spawn spaces in the top 2 or 3 floors aren't actually going to be able to spawn mobs when I update to 1.18, because if you're unaware, mobs actually need light level 0 to spawn when 1.18 comes out instead of below 7. So currently everything right here can spawn regardless, but I think I'm going to need to extend out this slab floor in all directions until this all becomes 0 again, because I want to have this ready to go also in 1.18. I don't want to have to come in and update it then. I want it to just be ready to go. So I'm going to need to get some more slabs and hopefully just extend this out much further and make this all 0. Okay, I extended the platform out. It looks a little bit uneven now, but I don't really care because the outside is what we're going to see, not the inside in here. We're never going to have to come in here again. Everything is level 0 now. As soon as this water moves, I can show you. I just extended it out. I think it's a good thing actually that spiders are spawning up here. That just shows how well spawn proof this whole area is when I AFK in that one spot, because if it can spawn there, it will almost. So this is lit up now to where no spiders are spawning, and this is all level 0 now to where all mobs will be able to spawn even through 1.18. I just realized some of you may be curious as to why this is my AFK spot, because on this chest, looking at this bed and this water above me, when we built the crop farms, we needed to pass the day in doing it by AFK, so I can just sit here and hold right click. This allows me to hold right click and sleep past the day, and then once I spawn in, I'll be looking like this, fall down, be looking right back at the bed again, and just keep holding right. So I can AFK here, keep all the farms running, and pass the day just by AFK. So that is going to do it for this episode. Finally added our second Tetrahedron ship to this area, and there'll be more to come. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.